Hi Capricorn, welcome to Pure Tarot. I'm doing a reading for the new moon in Taurus on April 30th. It's also a partial eclipse. I'm kind of cheating. It is technically May 1st. We're in the wee hours of, but we're still within that energy. I'm going to use the Dark Days Tarot in honor of the dark moon, dark phase of the moon. We're going to start with one card like this, and I will probably pull out of this deck. I guess the square shape makes it a little more difficult for pop-outs. A big pile turned. It's too many. Let's pull. Six of Swords. This is interesting. I just did Sagittarius's reading and the first card out, not out of the Dark Days. The other tarot was also the Six of Swords. So lots of movement for people, I guess. It is spring. Some of the restrictions have lifted. There's maybe opportunity for movement, for traveling, of course. I'm looking at the imagery. I'm loving how her path in water has all these little stars, what looks like stars, sort of lighting the way for her in her little canoe there. I find that very beautiful, very peaceful, very inspiring. It's almost like this traveling, this movement is inspired. It's been inspired by whatever. So something sparked your desire. You're also following a trail. Like, those little pebbles that, now I'm gonna mix up my tales here. Ansel and Gretel, they leave the breadcrumbs, but it's also, there's another one. In French, it's Le Petit Poucet. I don't know what that is in English. The name of the tale in English. Anywho, that's the one with the white pebbles. That's what it feels like. That's why I'm saying you're following a trail, right? Let's pull, this one wants to come out. Three of Wands. I'm going to get some more. The Hermit in reverse. Three of Cups in reverse. Let's get one more. This one. Eight of Pentacles. Let's just do four for now. So the Hermit in reverse is telling me that you're coming out of your shell, so to speak. You're definitely moving from a place of staying very quiet, probably staying home a lot, to, you know, wanting to get out there. I think initially you wanted to rejoice. I think the idea was to celebrate coming, you know, that movement outward was to initially reunite, celebrate, come together, just have fun, like plain old fun. But it's really interesting. It's coming off as you end up working instead. And it's really interesting because it doesn't feel like you missed out on anything of this celebration. It's almost like it comes through as networking. So the context of the Three of Cups was to celebrate, but it's almost like you're using the basically you're using the context of the reunion to apply yourself, right? And for me, you know, and I don't mean to be turning the focus back on me. I just want to share with you that, you know, in the past I've had to travel for work and go to conventions, right? Or at least industry showcases, things like that. And basically it's like you come together, right? But the idea is not to party, the idea is to work. And so one of the main things that you do in those events is to network. So networking is not necessarily applying yourself to do the same work that you do on a daily basis. Obviously, you're in the context of, you know, of an event. That's my example. That's just to illustrate what I'm sensing here. So, but you're not exactly also partying or, you know, having fun, although it can be quite pleasant. But the idea is to make those connections. And that's what initially the Three of Cups is, you know. You're creating connections as well, right? And I didn't talk about the Three of Wands here yet. Just want to point that there's 2 threes. So maybe May 3rd is important. It's interesting because the Three of Wands is a card of like waiting for something to arrive to you. And I'm sensing that you decided to stop waiting. Hence why you came out of hermit mode, because you could be in your, you know, you could wait a very long time and things can, you know, never happen. Basically, they don't happen because you're not putting yourself out there. So probably you had the realization, because the hermit is, you know, very connected, right? Typically. So he would have had the awareness of, wait a minute, you know, I could be waiting here like perpetually, like ad vitam aeternam, you know, like forever. And so you took action. it's a it really works well with the example I gave you of, you know, going somewhere and networking. Let's see what you do with it. And you would have had to travel for it. That's really interesting. That's an interesting mix. You have Six of Pentacles and Five of Pentacles, following the Eight of Pentacles, right? It's really like a mini story for me. It's almost like these networking connections that you make. There's an exchange. You're exchanging with people. It's literally a give and take. I really enjoy that card in the context of the networking scenario. And here, the Five of Pentacles at the end, it's almost like you're sad that you have to leave the convention because basically, and I'm using the convention, right? But the event, because it's almost like, you know, you're going to go back to being alone, maybe going back, you know, where you might have felt isolated. And the other thing that's interesting to point out, let me try to show you. It's going to be hard to hold the cards, but you know, you have like the Three of Cups in reverse. How can I explain this to you? It's like the Six and the Eight of Pentacles are quite positive here. And like the Three of Cups and the Five of Pentacles are sort of putting a little bit of how can I put it? It's almost like they're attaching some sort of it comes off like the way I'm hearing the word stain. So it's almost like you have a beautiful, you're wearing a beautiful shirt and you have a little stain. So it's like there's something about this thing that, although I think that you're networking, I think it's almost like a rewarding opportunity in terms of future earnings, and also very I really want to use the word balanced exchanges, right? And yet there's a tinge of sadness. I sense it as sadness because these people are, it's not sadness maybe, it's it's almost like it's a little harsh, okay? Like it's the word I'm getting, but please don't take it too literally, and like it's not meant to be difficult, or I get crippled because of, you know, the imagery. So it's almost like something is crippling, but very subtly, right? It's not like your leg is not being cut off, you know what I mean? It's really interesting. I mean, it's I think what's crippling is I think it might be difficult in the context of this let's say, event. Maybe because the notion of fun is lacking, or, you know, it could be. If it's not that, maybe there were particular people that you expected to meet at this event that did not come, or that you did not get to connect with. Maybe that's what's leaving you a little bit feeling unsatisfied, right? Unfulfilled, or like you're lacking something, something's missing, you know? Or it feels like the experience was, and in this case, I'm not using crippling, but the experience was left you a little bit like, like something's missing. Let's get some advice with the oracle here. It's interesting, I just got another 3 wands. There are 3 ships depicted on the picture. And here's the other 3, right? And I'm thinking that you were hoping to see one of these 3 ships. So I think it might be what I'm describing. Maybe there was like 1 or 2 or 3, or it doesn't have to be these numbers, but definitely at least 1, right? Maybe something you anticipated, and it doesn't have to be a person at this point. Like it could be maybe you anticipated something out of the event or to occur during the event that did not. And this is what you're leaving the event, and there's something that you feel you haven't accomplished, or that's simply missing, you know, like what is the advice, please? This one. Storm. Let's read. That's gotta be in the air, right? I think. No. It's in ether, in the ether section. The word is transition. Storm indicates transition. In the midst of the tempest, you might wonder how much damage will be done, or even whether you will survive. That's what it is. Remember that the polarity of destruction is renewal. One does not exist without the other. Interesting. How you endure the storm will influence your ability to regenerate once it's over. Now is the time to take exquisite care of yourself. Soon the sun will be out, the air will be fresh and full of vitality, and a new world will be revealed. Confidence in one's resiliency. Stabilize your body's electrical environment by embracing the theory of grounding. That is so profound. You know, you have a lot of pentacles. You have what it takes to ground yourself. I even want to go as far as grounding yourself in the connections you're making. the ones where you feel there's an equal give and take. Obviously, you know, who would choose otherwise, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna draw an angel number card. Regeneration makes me think of, you know, a new life, a new cycle. So I think that's extremely positive. And I'm tempted to say that it points to this, you know, you realize how passive you were in the past and how you really need to come out of your shell and go out there and travel, you know, get out there really like physically in order to regenerate. Definitely. $12. This is a positive sign for love and work. You are getting a helping hand of fate. Make sure you take as much as you give. No way! Luck is on your side. This is beautiful. This is really beautiful. Let me pull a trinket. This one. That's strange. This is the man under the tree, right? With the apple. So like Newton with the theory of gravity. You know, Storm, the advice was to ground yourself, right? So this man is like sitting on the ground and he's close to a tree, and definitely in nature, so that's very grounding in itself. He's also, you know, he's deep in thought. When the apple falls, he's not thinking of it. He's not waiting for the apple to fall. He's basically just sitting there thinking, which is quite a hermit attitude. I mean, when it's upright, right? You know, as much as waiting here, you're waiting, you're looking out. So it has this same sort of feeling of waiting on something. And so it tells me you've spent a lot of time in contemplation. I'm laughing because there was a hunk outside when I said that. Anyway, you are getting a helping hand of fate. That's what the angel number says. Luck is on your side. This is going to be great. I think overall, like really positively, this Five of Pentacles is only you leaving this, let's say this situation, this event, only leaving it because you don't want to leave, like, you know, thinking that, you know, this was really something that you enjoyed overall. Because I think you are aware of the regeneration. I think you are aware of that. So it's almost like you're disappointed that it ends, you know, that you have to go back to what you, you know, how things were like when you were home or whatever, doing whatever you were doing before. Anyways, it's just one way of seeing things. Take some, leave some, right? Take only what resonates. So on that note, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you sharing your time with me. If you did enjoy the video, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye.